Okay, so I'm going to talk about camera switching in Blender and the workflow that I would probably use if I was looking for a nonlinear solution, given the tools available in Blender as it is now. And this would compare it to other workflows in other programs. Okay, so I'm just starting from a basic scene here. It's like a general scene, and where we got the timeline down here. So I'm going to split that timeline into 3 sections quickly. Bottom one I'll keep as a timeline. The middle one I'll switch to a dope sheet, and the top one I'm going to switch to a nonlinear animation editor. So this is kind of the key one right here that makes this workflow possible. And so the camera I'm going to rename as shot 0.001, like that, and then go to the top view, and I'm just going to duplicate this camera a few times around so I have 4 shots. And then I'm going to split this screen up here, make this one a camera view by hitting 0, and let's lock camera, not yet. I'm going to make this bigger first and then lock camera to view and hide that. So now I have my perspective view over here and the camera view here. Okay, so this right by default, that is the first camera that we added in the, or that was in the scene, or that we added, becomes the default camera. So the way to switch that is to select the next camera and control 0, and we can actually I should do that here. There we go. So now I'll just put this there, and let's get rid of this, put the monkey in there so we can get something better to look at. So all right, so now shot 3, control 0, and that one needs to be turned around a little bit, so let's just whip that around and let's put it here like that. And shot 4, control 0, and whip 4 around, go to the top view. Let's say I want to kind of turn that one around like that as well, just get some different views here, and set that up. And then this one, control 0, that's good. This one, control 0, go this way, the back. This one, control 0, and from the side. So that's good enough for now. Let's just try this one a little bit further. Put that one further out there. This one, control 0, let's go low. This one, control 0, let's go a little bit higher. This one, control 0, and a little bit low like that, just so at least there's a difference. Now the normal workflow that you would use if you wanted to switch between cameras would be going to go through the timeline here and just use control B over the dope sheet, and it also there's a menu here, bind the camera to markers. It creates a marker, and it'll just bind it on that keyframe to that camera that you have selected. So let's start off with shot 1, control B, so we have a shot 1 marker. So shot 2, control B, so we have a shot marker there. And then camera 3, control B, and then camera 4, control B. So you can drag these markers around. So the markers themselves are non-linear, because you could swap these up however you want to do it. You move these wherever you want to move them, just dragging them and moving them, right? So that's fairly simple, but now the problem is, normally if you're keyframing on a camera, your keyframes in the normal workflow, I say normal because, or I would say without the nonlinear animation editor, which is kind of how we mostly animate, at least I do anyways. I don't normally use the nonlinear editor unless there's something specific that I need to use it for. Usually I'm just animating without it. And so I just want to show, for those people that don't know, what happens in the background when you're just animating the way you would normally animate. So let's open this up here. We can still see the shots, the shot markers. So we got our camera going over here, and we can see them switching, right? So that's all good. But now we want to start animating the camera. So let's start with shot 1. And I'll turn on the automatic keyframes there. And over here in this view where I've got it locked to the camera. So now I'm creating a keyframe there on rotation and location. I'm going to come over here close to where the other marker is, and I can go beyond it if I want, but let's go there for now. And just do like a sweeping pan across the front like that. So our first one sweeps across like that. Now we switch to the other camera 2, and let's start really low. And you can see we got a keyframe in there, and move it over here and go higher like that. And let's go to the next camera. That's camera 3, and we're far away, low, and then we're going to be far away, high. Okay, and then go to the next camera. That's shot 4, and let's do something different. There we go. And then down, just to do something different. So now we got these animations that are on each camera, right? Okay, and so now you see what happens here is without this on, without doing anything with the nonlinear editor, you have your keyframes are just stuck where they are, right? So now you have the problem that, let's say you wanted to use the dope sheet to edit your shot and your keyframes at the same time. Now you have to grab both keyframes, or all the keyframes, especially as a complicated shot with a lot of keyframes. You have to grab all that and the shot marker and move it, right? But the nonlinear editor, the way it works is it just lets you work in a linear way until you decide to start working nonlinear. So what the nonlinear editor does is it just creates these keyframes and it has these sort of nonlinear clips waiting for you to decide that you want to turn them into a nonlinear clip. And this little arrow right here, if you click that, it turns it into a nonlinear clip. So you just click on those, and now you'll have these nonlinear clips for your camera shots. And so now things get interesting, because normally in another workflow you would just simply move this clip around, and the clip and the shot marker are kind of one and the same. And that's convenient, I guess, but so this wouldn't be exactly like that, but it does have another advantage, and that is that you can now move these separately, so that you could decide to have this shot marker, you could decide to have the clip start earlier and later. And just let's move all these clips and overlap them, because notice how I had a little gap in those camera shots, right? So now let's move those and overlap them, and then now move the shots here like this, and so that when it cuts to the shot, the camera's already moving. So it's like just like you got your cameramen out there, they're doing their thing, and you're up here in the booth doing the switching, and the guy's already got the camera in motion. It's already on the cable, or what have you, right? Or the Steadicam or whatever. And so now the cameras just switch. Oh, they're already there. Those are some pretty bad camera moves. But so let's see, what's the really horrible one? That one. That one's shot 2. So let's take that one. Now I want to go and with that camera, with this clip selected, I'm going to hit the tab key. So it's basically the same as edit mode. So now I can edit these keyframes. So these are pretty bad. I'm gonna select this one, and I'm just gonna delete that second keyframe. Now, so that's shot 2, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna create a little bit of movement on there, like that. And then I'm gonna drag this keyframe over here. Okay, so it's just a little thing like that. The third one, that one's pretty bad too. So go back, hit tab key again, and action number 3. let's go to edit mode on that one. And what don't I like about that? Again, I don't like that second keyframe's in the wrong place. There we go. Yeah, I don't like that funky thing, so I'm just going to delete that keyframe, and I'm going to do something else. Just going to go around like that. Okay, and then I'm going to move this keyframe over, and so on like that. Now that I have it kind of how I'm going to want it, move these keyframes on the outside of those shot markers, right? And make sure this thing is long enough. There we go. So, yeah, it's better. So I can live with those shots for now. Right, so now you can see that it's these aren't connected to the clips. These shot markers are not connected to the clips. However, it actually gives you a little bit more flexibility. You can still take the camera clip and move it anywhere you want. You can move these around anywhere you want to move them, and you can also move the clips anywhere around where you want to move them. You do have to manually follow the shots when you do it. It's actually one extra step, but it gives you the extra advantage of being able to start the clip, start the shot switch anywhere inside the clip, right? You could have overlapping clips and just simply decide to start it anywhere you want. So let's go, well, we kind of need that to be at the beginning, right? So I'm going to move this back over here. I'm going to have this overlap that one, and then I'm going to take shot 2 and have it about right there, and then move that over a little bit. Shot 3 will overlap that, bring the shot 3 camera here. So you kind of get the idea, right? So the idea is that I'm able to play with both things in a nonlinear sense. Now, the trick here is only the difference between just using a regular shot, switcher workflow down here is that I'm bringing the nonlinear animation editor into the picture. So it's becoming more like a timeline or a cinematic in Unreal, or a story in Motion Builder, or a similar kind of nonlinear animation editor in Maya, right? So there you go. That's the workflow. It's pretty simple. That's how I would do it if I was looking to do a nonlinear camera switching workflow in Blender.